Hi everyone, I am elect Robby Adamson, and we're going to be solving some puzzles today. And for those of you that have not seen the videos that I've done so far, what we do in these videos is we take the position that comes up. It comes up on chess.com, and then we talk through the answer, and we'll see if we actually get the answer right. Sometimes I get it right, and sometimes I don't. But we try to figure out where I might have messed up, and so let's take it from there. So let's go ahead and start with something. And all right, so here we have a position. And what's the first thing we do, everyone? Remember, we assess. So who's ahead in material? Okay, in this position, white is up a piece for 2 pawns. Black looks like he has a really good attack. Good compensation for black, but we got to find the crusher in the position. So, got to look for all the candidate moves. First thing you look for is checks. Rook h1 check is not going to lead to anything. And we also have rook takes g2, which may or may not lead to something. So those are the 2 checks we look in the position. What do we notice? The king is very, very weak. White's king is. Black's king is relatively safe. No problems there. This pawn on f4 looks like it could be annoying at some point, playing for f3. And the other thing we notice, of course, is that the rook on h5 is hanging. So, what are the candidate moves here? So, I mean, rook takes rook check is the most obvious of all. So, what do we do here? So the candidate moves I see so far are f3 and rg to h8, which sets up some tricks on the h file. I don't see anything direct there, so I'm probably going to lean towards that not being the move. If I had to guess what the move is here, and again, you always have to calculate, you can't guess, but my instincts are telling me that we're going to take the rook on g2. And the idea is if he takes with the queen, then we have queen f5, and that threatens rook g5 check. It also deals with queen g8 check, because black just simply has king to d7, and there's no more checks left. So that looks like a winner potentially, but we got to keep going. So after takes, king takes looks really bad. Looks like the king is very, very open. But again, we still have to analyze that. Make sure we're not missing something. Oh, yes. Well, that would be a disaster. Because if rook takes rook, king takes, we got queen h3. So that looks pretty good. So if rook takes rook, queen takes, queen f5, the threat in that position, I didn't even mention it, is rook g5 winning the queen. If the king moves to f2, we have rook g5 potentially, or we could throw in queen c2 check. So that looks pretty good. Everyone agree? So let's see if I'm right. And I'm wrong. Oh no. So what did we miss here? What did we miss? Well, before we cheat and see what the answer is, let's see if we can find a better move here. Oh, you know what? We could play rh to g5. Rook takes rook, rook takes rook, king f2. I don't see anything yet. I mean, maybe we just play queen h3 and threaten to win the queen. We'll check if that's the answer. So, oops, rook g5, yep, here, queen h3, and I missed it again. Okay, so what's the problem here? f3, huh? And then rook h5. Okay, so missed that twice. Not so good. Okay, we're getting off to a slow start. So let's go to the next one. All right, again, we're going to have to assess. White just won a pawn. White has 3 minor pieces, so does black. Each have 2 rooks. First thing I see is the knight and the bishop being on the same file, so it leads me to believe that something could be up on that. So we're looking at moves like rook to c8 or queen c8. Both of those look pretty good, but queen c8 actually creates a threat. I'll bet you we're going to take a chance and think this is right. We'll try it. And we were right. So, interesting. So we kind of got that kind of quickly. So let's go back here and see, why did I find that so fast? I've never seen this puzzle before. But the reason I saw it so fast was because this pawn on b4 looks conspicuously badly placed. There's potential tricks here. And then when you ever have 2 pieces on the same row and you don't have a pawn defending, there could be some tricks. I think rook c8 is not good because of just, we already knew that was the answer. But if rook to c8, I think he's got queen takes a6, and the stupid bishop is controlling a lot of these squares. So we can't just even gang up on it with queen c7 or anything. So that's, I think that's just the answer. So queen c8 here, and this is just simple. We're up a piece. He's got 2 pawns for it, but not even close to enough compensation. So black is winning. All right, so let's try the next one. All right, so we're going to assess again. And so what do we got here? White has 5 pawns, black has 4. So he's up a pawn. He's also up the exchange. But that's where the party ends for white because his king is wide open. And so, but we do see that this king is threatening to take this knight. So we're going to run out of pieces unless we got something good here. So here you can definitely tell the first move is going to be check. We can already tell that. It's not even an option. So what are the checks? Queen e1 is 1. Queen c2 is another. Okay. Queen e1 looks like a very practical idea because it puts him in check and it defends the knight at the same time. So there could be some ideas there. But the other one, don't forget that you got to look at bishop h6 check too. One of those moves that you normally would not think of, and see if there's something there. So now we got to calculate. So which one do we like first? Let's take a gander at queen e1 because I think that's probably the most obvious from a practical standpoint. So if queen e1 if queen e1 all right, so if queen e1, king d3, if knight f2 he can take with a queen, that's unfortunate. Otherwise we'd have checkmate. So if queen e1, king d3, if queen d2 check, king takes e4, queen e2 check, yeah, so queen e2 check, the king has to go to f4. And do we have an answer? Bishop h6. Check. King goes to e3. Goes to g3. I don't see anything there. I feel like this rook is going to guard any kind of checks. So queen e1 doesn't look right. Oh, by the way, queen h6 check is the other check in the position, but I think we can eliminate that because a king takes e4. Famous last words. That's what I said in one of the previous videos. So queen e1, king d3. Let's just check this one more time. Queen d2. King takes e4. Queen e4 check. Where does the king have to go? It has to go to f4. Queen e2, king f4. Just visualizing this. I just don't see how he's going to mate there. No, I don't think so. Okay, so we got to keep going here. We're taking much longer on this than usual. I think queen c1 fails for the same reason. We just take the knight. Whereas queen e1, we had to play king d3 first. So we got to check out bishop h6 check. If king takes e4, oh boy. Queen takes g2. Is that winning? Get the heck out of here. So if bishop h6, king takes e4, queen takes g2, the king has to go to d3. We have queen e3 check. I'm sorry, queen d2 check. And if king e4, queen e3 check, and that is mate. Oh my gosh, that's pretty cool. And we missed it. Oh no! After all that, I was so confident. What did we miss here? Well, it has to be. We didn't really look at queen g1, did we? That can't be right. So if check, all right. So it is this position. So clearly, we missed something. We can't take the rook because it's check. If knight c5, dc, I don't really see anything there. It's this, huh? So it was this. Famous last words. Oh my gosh, what a ridiculous puzzle. Queen takes here. That's so unfair. So unfair. You guys see that we can't play mate because of this pin. Oh, that's too bad. All right, so instincts were wrong. Or instincts were right initially, but we couldn't find the clincher. But simply taking this guy and defending this rook is the key. So okay, let's do the next one. All right, so we got to assess. We got 4 pawns to 5 pawns, so black's up a pawn. He's also has a rook for the knight, so he's up the exchange and a pawn. But I mean, just analyzing a little bit here, you see that the king is a little precariously placed. So I'm going to guess that there's going to have to be a crusher here. So let's see here. What do we do? What are the candidate moves? Queen g5 check is just king takes f7. I don't see that being even close to correct. Knight h8 check. If I take he just takes with check. He takes the knight with check. What am I thinking? So knight h8, rook takes h8 is check. That just ends the game because it's mate in 1 after the queen blocks, and we can take with the rook. So what other moves are there? Bishop takes f5. I'm not sure what that accomplishes. Bishop f5, ef. Again, I don't see it. So we're going to have to find something a little more clever here. Now the one good thing is that the rook cannot move here because we can take with check. So that's good. And black has no check here because we got a queen on it. So that does help in some ways, in that we don't have to kill him right away. So what else? Knight h6 doesn't work. Or does it? No. No. So interesting. So white doesn't actually have to make a move here because there's no threat. So can we use that to our advantage? Well, this is a toughie. Very tough, very tough. Knight g5 just allows, I mean, queen h4 at a minimum, but knight g5 just rook h8. I don't see anything there. Knight h3, and there's just nothing there at all. So that's not good. What other ideas do we have here? If we take on f5 again, pawn takes, there's just nothing there, right? So that's not good. Can't move the knight. Can't move the queen. G4 is just no way. This queen f2 check, that's just not going to do anything. Well, the only thing I can think of here is that because black cannot actually make a real move here, that we have some time. If bishop to b5, he's got queen takes e3, which threatens to take on f4. And if I It's a little difficult, isn't it? King h3 doesn't do anything. Yeah, there's no way that's good. It's kind of funny. White's sort of in not zugzwang, but he can't really make a constructive move here. If we move the knight, rook h8's mate. If knight h6, we can just simply take with the pawn. And if queen f6, we got king h7. And we're just not going to win that. I hate giving up on these positions, but this is a toughie. See, normally a move like knight d6 would be okay, or knight g5, but that just doesn't work. It's just mate. Is there any queen move we have? We got no queen moves. It's my mission to not give up on this. Well, that's interesting. Bishop e2 is interesting because it threatens to play bishop h5, and if he takes it, we have queen g5 mate. And if the king goes to h7. I bet you knight there is good. So I bet you this is the answer. Oh no, we missed it. All right, let's check it out. Takes. You're kidding, right? Okay, so all right. So I mean that is a forcing move. Let's try this again. So if we take, all right, e6. Now I want to see this position here because right here, I mean queen g5 is queen g5, queen h5 is mate. Okay, I totally get that. That does make sense. Rook h8 is something we learned earlier, but we just take it with check. If bishop takes e6, queen takes. So if bishop takes e6, where's the killer? Oh my goodness. So we're actually gonna. Well, it said this, so let's go ahead and play this out, and then knight back. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna check this out. So I'm curious about this. Takes, e6. So if bishop takes, there has to be something that's a killer here. I have to confess, I'm not seeing what to do to mate him. Let's check it out. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's winning. Because of king g7, we have queen here and queen there. And if king here, we have queen h3 check, queen h7, and queen f7 mate. Wow. Okay, so I don't feel so bad, although e6 is a hard move to find there. But that's a toughie. All right, so we spent quite a lot of time on that one. Not so happy about that. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, we're going to go back to okay. Yeah, it's okay to leave the site. All right, we're going to do another one. All right, here, again, we have 5 pawns for white, 6 pawns for black. The D pawns are doubled, so it's not so scary. Black doesn't really have a good way. He can't play rook e1 because we can just simply play RD takes d2, and that gets the pawn back. So we're not in immediate danger here. So the question is, I think I see the answer. I think the answer is c6, takes, and if king d8, c7 check, king c8, and rook to a1. And there's no way to stop that check. I'm going to go with it. All right, and now the question is, do we play c7 or do we take the pawn? I think c7 is just winning, and we queen, and this is winning. Okay, so +4. We did it in under a minute, which is pretty good, given that we're talking about it and discussing it, so pretty easy puzzle. Hopefully I can stay over 2,900 today. All right, we're going to try another one because that was way too easy for us to end on one. All right, so what do we got here? We got 6 pawns versus 5 pawns. Each side has 3 minor pieces. Each side has 2 rooks. First thing I look at in the position is I see this queen is not defended, and I see the queen being here. All right, so I'm already smelling something. So something like knight takes g3 looks really juicy because if he takes back, I have knight h3 check, winning his queen. Do we have to go any farther than that? Knight takes g2, queen e4. Not so thrilled with that. If knight takes g3, if does he have anything there? I think that's good. Let's go for it. All right. So why did I find that puzzle so fast? It's something you have to train yourself to think about. So in a position like this, whenever you see all this stuff on the same row, you should automatically think, okay, doesn't mean there is something, but you got to look for something. And first of all, the knight's hanging, so it's not a stretch to think that the knight needs to move. But when I saw knight h3 check as an idea, if bishop takes, I saw there was no discovery. So what did I do? I changed the move order. So I said, go ahead and take this guy. So go ahead and take here because it creates a threat. This gives him another check, and then we go there. Okay, just real quick, you can't check on e2 because he can take with a queen. That would be a disaster. So, all right, hopefully that was helpful. We spent a long time on that one puzzle, but that just shows some of the depth of how difficult some of these puzzles can be. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a great night, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm getting a lot of subscribers, and again, I really do appreciate all the comments and all the support for doing this, and I am out of here.